Hey guys, this is Beer Gaming and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be discussing the second part of our four-part video, which is the different types of heroes in Exos Heroes. And since yesterday we already discussed about the attack type heroes, this time we will be discussing the chaos type heroes. So let's go check it out. Here in the squadron, just type journal and then heroes, then here all position types, because we are going to filter this out. Just press chaos and there you will be able to see all the different chaos type heroes in the game. So first,
Every day will be victorious.
this is
when you're with
Beatrue.
me.
She's a mythic. Actually, she's a mythic of the Esteris Republic. If you happen to follow the game, this is Xion's dragon. There was a scene, hindi ko na gawing spoiler, pero nag-transform siya, and eto na siya ngayon. So let's check her passive. Pressure decreases defense of all enemies by 20% at the start of an ally's turn. Remove at the end of own turn. Frenzy decreases damage received on self by 20% and increases own attack by 20% at the start of ally's turn. Her first skill, Starry Night Sky, deals 63% lifesteal damage to all enemies and heals for 70% of the damage dealt. Grants stealth to self for 4 turns. Para siyang may pagka-support type siya. Her second skill is Dragon Glorification, deals 127% to all enemies. And if the target has debuff, deals 150% extra damage and purges 1 buff from the target. So I haven't acquired this hero yet, mythic hero yet, kasi parang mas mababa yata talaga ang chance ng mythic hero makuha or mapull sa mga banner, because for mythic hero there is a special type of banner. Hindi siya same sa mga Fate Core natin, because parang parang meron siyang mga sets of mission that you need to do in order for you to acquire the mythic hero tickets. And sad to say, hindi ako ganun kalaki. For now, maybe. Who knows, maybe next time, pag may bagong release na mythic hero, maybe I'll get a chance to get one. So, just the same as yesterday, we will only be discussing Fated Heroes, Legendary, and some of the rare. Kasi, like I said, hindi naman talaga yung mga most of the rare heroes, magical and common, yung mga ganun, hindi man talaga sila ginagamit in PvE or PvE. Mostly, they are for dispatching. So, this is Jinai. She's from the Esteris Republic. She is a general. So, you know naman kung anong mga perks when it comes to having generals in the team. She has the increased attack, defense, and HP. Heroes from Esteris by 10%. Also, she has grants immunity to self for 10 turns at the start of the battle. Tama ba? Yes, immunity. Her first skill, Dark Night Glow, deals 51% damage to all enemies, 40% chance to afflict target with poison. Yes. Just a side note, when I started playing the game before, talagang nakakainis siyang kalaban kasi talagang both her skill, first and second skill, ay may poison. Pero for now, after the Season 5 update, yung first skill na lang ang merong poison, pero yung second naman, merong silence. 60% chance. So what you should do, is talagang pataasin nyo yung effect hit at least 100% para talagang mangyayari yung pagsa-silence ng enemies natin. This is Gina eh. Para siyang geisha. Let's go to the next. Sidorika.
This was a waste of time.
Isa talaga to sa mga pinakamalakas na heroes kahit fated pa lang. And everyone was really waiting for her FC to arrive, which already did naman a few weeks ago. Ganun. So, ayun. Sobrang lakas niya. Her passive is Soul Shackles. Gains immortality upon receiving damage beyond own current health. 1 time per battle. Remove at the start of own turn. Nationalism. She is also a general from the Brune Nation. So, meron rin siyang increased attack, defense, and HP by 10%. Her first skill, Black Iron Storm, deals 63% damage to all enemies, 45% chance to afflict target with bleed, to deal 39% damage every turn for 2 turns. So, meron siyang CC. Ito, yung bleed. Her second skill, Piercing Darkness, deals 262 damage to one enemy, grants damage immunity to self, also deals 100% extra damage if target's attack speed is lower than self. So, if Dorca's attack speed is higher than the enemy, so definitely, there will be an extra 100% damage. This is Dorca. Para siyang Archer. Hi po sa isang watcher natin ngayon. Welcome back to our channel. Next is Ice Wallenstein. She's one of the collaboration heroes before. She's in the anime Danmatsu, or Is It Okay to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So, kasama niya yung si Ryu Lion and si Belcranel. So, this is her. She's a Chaos type hero. Her passive is the Beautiful Sword Princess. Increases attack by 5% upon receiving damage. Stacks up to 2 turns. First skill niya ay Ariel or Ariel. Deals 63% damage to all enemies. So this is AoE and increases on attack by 23% for 7 turns. Her second skill is Lil Rafaga. This is a piercing damage of 375% to one enemy. So this is her. And again, for collaboration heroes, hindi nyo pwede i-dye or you cannot change their costumes color or you cannot dye their costumes. It will always be remain in default. Next, fated Chaos type hero is Raynor. She's from Wonderland. She's also a general. Ito po yung passive niya. Fiesta. Triggers double team when an ally attacks an enemy 1 time per round. And Royal Straight Flush. Yung perks for being a general and having other Wonderland nation teammates in her team. So this will increase the attack, defense, and maximum HP by 10%. So most likely, just the same as the other generals, yun talaga yung perk nila. Additional 10% increase for attack, defense, and HP. Her first skill is the Romantic Cage. Deals 127% to all enemies and 55% chance to afflict target with burn to deal 55% damage every turn for 3 turns. So yan, may CC po siya. And her second skill is Domination Judgment. Deals 525% damage to one enemy and grants immunity to self for 10 turns. Yan. Also, I remember her Fate Core version, meron siyang damage immunity. So, when you hit her until her HP falls really low, magiging immune siya to all damage for a certain number of turns lang naman. Next hero is Reda. She's from Greenland. Her passive is increases attack by 3% every time another hero's turn besides self ends. Stacks up to 10%. So, lalo pang nag-i-increase ang attack niya by 3% for every time a hero turns. So, every time after a hero attacks, her attack also increases by 3%. And this can stack up to 10 times. Her first skill is Verdant Fire, deals 187% damage to one enemy. Also, there is a 60% chance to afflict target with silence for 4 turns. So, yun. You need to have her effect hit at least 100% for it to work, at least. Pero if not, you will be relying with the 60% chance only. So, in my case, I'm using Rera also. I really tried my best to make her effect hit at least 100% para makuha natin yung silence. Kasi, especially when you use her in 7 stunner or PvP, talagang useful talaga yung mga CC or crowd control. And in this game, usually, yung mga crowd controls nila ay burn, silence. Alam ko wala ng frostbite because there used to be a frostbite CC. There's poison, silence, burn, bind. Yes. So, her second skill is Summon Ulong, deals 178% damage to all enemies, and deals 30% extra damage for each mana on the target. So, ibig sabihin to, deals 30% extra damage for each mana. So, the more mana the target has, mas may additional 30% damage pa siya. Oh. Next is Valentina. She's from North One Frosty. Her passive is called Smirk. Purges one buff from the attack target if enemy has a buff in effect. If the target still has any buff after purging, afflicts bind. So, if your enemy has shields or HOT or healing over time, tinatanggal niya yon. Pero, if hindi nag-work, lalagyan niya na ng bind. How cool is that? Ang ganda. So, for first skill is Sharp Punishment. Deals 150% damage to one enemy. 50% chance to afflict target with stun for 3 turns. Her second skill, Cage of Despair, deals 262 damage to one enemy and 70% chance to afflict target with silence for 5 turns. That's Valentina. She has a crow in a cage. Next is Jean from Exos. Para siyang assassin talaga, oh. And I don't know guys if you have noticed, pero based on my observation lang naman, yung Chaos Heroes are more on parang mga assassin, archer type. Yung mga heroes na may mga daggers, mga scythe. Parang gano'n ang datingan niya. Kasi for me, yung nakikita ko sa attack type heroes, they are more on swords and staff. Yung parang mga wizard class or warrior class. Pero dito, mga archer, assassin, or maybe yung mga mecha style. Ganon. For his passive, Shadow Walk, increases own dodge by 10% for 5 turns when ally receives damage. Stacks up to 4 times. And grants stealth for 5 turns to self upon successful dodge. So, mga dodge effect. His first skill is Shadow Slash, deals 150% damage to one enemy, and grants stealth to self for 6 turns. Shadow Dance, His second skill deals 187 damage to one enemy and deals 150% extra piercing damage if naka-stealth mode siya. Ayun, ninja vibes talaga siya. Si Jin. Our next Chaos type hero is Dana. Her passive is Concentrated Fire, increases own hit by 20%. His first skill is Zephyrus Broom, deals 63% damage to all enemies, and 45% chance to afflict target with Nullify buff. Oh, the bufferling pala siya. Her second skill is Wind Duster, deals 262 damage to one enemy, and 70% chance to decrease dodge of targets by 40% for 8 turns. So, she's a witch. Ang cute ng mga skill animation ito. Next is Baraka from Lenombe. His passive is Confirm Kill, triggers double team when an ally basic attacks one time per round. So double team is like whenever an ally attacks, may chance na susunod siya. So parang gagayahin niya yung, not copying the skill itself, pero yung just by attacking. So if he sees someone attacking from his team, he also follows. He has mana burn, 1 mana of the target, then grants gain mana to all back row allies. So what happens when he attacks an enemy, there's a chance that he will remove 1 mana from the enemy, and parang ang mangyayari, i-distribute niya yung mana na yun sa mga back row allies niya. He's really convenient, totoo lang. His first skill, Assassin Art, deals 187 damage to one enemy, also 60% chance to afflict target with silence for 4 turns. Then, his second skill, Madman's Flurry, deals 262 piercing damage to one enemy. So, this is Baraka. Parang may Arab vibes. Next, Kailak from Brune. His passive is Soul Absorption, increases own attack by 20% upon recovering health, stacks up to 3 turns or 3 times. Next, his first skill, Moon Knight Reaper, deals 150% damage to one enemy and 50% chance to afflict with bleed to deal 92% damage every turn for 2 turns. So yun, parang sa yung general niya, which is Dorka, meron rin bleed, CC, or crowd control. Also, his second skill is Soul Harvester, deals 89% lifesteal damage to all enemies and heals for 70% of the damage dealt. Meron siyang lifesteal. Alam nyo, ito talaga isa sa mga heroes na I find really nice. Although hindi ko siya ginagamit. Pero napaka-unique yung datingan niya. He's like a zombie person, maybe. Para siyang dead na nabuhay ulit. Our next hero is the Awakened Zeon. He's from Vagabond. So, if you notice, meron tayong dalawang Zeon characters dito sa game. They are really not the same. Although sa story, the old Zeon, nag-awaken siya. So, this is the result. The old Zeon awakened. So, he's the Awakened Zeon. Pero, for hero usage, they are separated. So, this is the Awakened Zeon. He also has his own Fate Core. And whatever the normal Zeon has, like Fate Cores, costumes, the Awakened Zeon cannot use them. So he has a separate Fate Core or costumes. Even the weapon. So his passive, Camaraderie. Oh. Gains mana, 1 mana, just 1 mana for each surviving back row allies besides self at the start of own turn. His first skill, Blazing Sword deals 375 damage to one enemy. Also, there is an 80% chance to afflict target with Burn to deal 112% damage every turn for 5 turns. His second skill, Unleashed Power, deals 178 damage to all enemies and 60% chance to afflict target with Bind for 5 turns. If target is in the front row, deals 80% damage, piercing. So meron pa siyang mga additional damage towards the defense type heroes or the tanks. This is Zeon. In the story, this is the part where he's awakened. So, lalo nang lumakas yung power niya. And also, he has a special costume, parang gender bend. He's in, parang ano talaga, parang a different gender, babae siya. Pero, just the same skills. Iba lang yung skill animation, pero malakas pa rin. Next is Hinder from Wonderland. Looks like a butler. A male secretary. Okay, his passive is Proof of Error. Increases own dodge by 10% at the start of own turn. Stacks up to 2 times. His first skill is Subordination. Deals 89% damage to all enemies and 50% chance to afflict target with sleep for 3 turns. His second skill, Screening Test, deals 375 damage to one enemy and 80% chance to decrease hit of target by 45% for 9 turns. Our next Chaos type hero is Baelish from Esteris Republic. His passive is Illegal Trade. Purges all buff from one enemy with buff at the start of round. Increases own critical hit rate by 40% for 10 turns upon successful purge. Next, his first skill, Negotiation Breakdown. Deals 63% damage to all enemies and 45% chance to decrease defense of target by 11% for 7 turns. His second skill, Kalu's Servant, deals 375 piercing damage to one enemy. Baelish is one of the first guardians here in the game. So if you happen to see, there are Fate cores here under the first guardian team. Makikita nyo mga gold effects. And actually, they are quite strong. So that's it for the fated grade heroes. Let's proceed with the legendary ones.
Too easy.
First legendary Chaos type hero is Diva or Deva. I don't know. Pronounce ko Diva. She's from Northbound Frosty. Her passive skill is Calm Outlaw. Increases own critical hit rate by 30%. Her first skill, Acrobatic Dance, deals 75% damage to all back row enemies and 45% chance to afflict target with Bleed to deal 39% damage every turn for 2 turns. Her second skill, Lovely Arrow Shot, deals 262 damage to one enemy, increases own attack by 33% of own attack for 8 turns upon defeating an enemy. You can see, para siyang si Harlequin. Next is Reed Marie. She's from Northbound Frosty. Her passive is Ultimate Pirate. Grants a barrier equal to 20% of own maximum health for 9 turns at the start of the battle. Her first skill is Ultimatum. Deals 150% damage to one enemy, 50% chance to decrease defense of target by 18% for 6 turns. Her second skill is Total Bombardment. Deals 178 piercing damage to all enemies. So pagdating sa ganun, like I said in the previous videos, talagang chine-check ko talaga yung mga passive nila. Kasi this is also a good way to help you determine what kind of gear sets you should equip your hero. So since dito, nakasabi dito, grants a barrier equal to 20% of own maximum health to self. Sometimes, especially, I mean case-to-case basis siya. Pagdating sa heroes that can support the entire team, lalo na when it comes to, pero for instance, kay Reed Marie dito, sinasabi is, to own self. So, pero if this will say na applies barrier to all allies, talagang tataasin ko talaga yung HP niya para malaki rin yung equivalent ng 20%. So, that's Reed Marie. She's a pirate. Kasama niya si... Sino yun? Si John from the attack type hero. Next is Sharpay from Northbound Frosty. Para siyang harpy. Her passive is Agile Wing Motion, increases dodge by 5% at the end of own turn, stacks up to 3 turns, or 3 times. First skill is Cross Execution, deals 262 damage to one enemy and 70% chance to afflict target with poison to deal 92.7 damage every turn for 4 turns. So, she has poison CC. Second skill is Feather Blast. Deals 210% damage to all back row enemies, 60% chance to decrease hit of target by 20% for 10 turns.
Fools.
Next is Kirina from Northbound Frosty. Her passive is Speedy Dash, deal increases on attack speed by 5 when an enemy dies, stacks up to 4 times. Her first skill, Shining Boomerang, deals 187 damage to one enemy and 60% chance to afflict target with silence for 4 turns. Her second skill is Chain Slicer, deals 525 damage to one enemy and 90% chance to afflict target with bind for 7 turns. Kirina is one of the characters that her Fate Core was released. Eto lang, this new team, Sands of Time. So, she's one of them. Their team leader, or the one who possesses the Gold Fate Core, is Baraka. And while Kirina is a Black Fate Core. So, ayun. Actually, Kirina is one of the recommended heroes when you start the game. If you don't have that much Fated heroes yet, or hindi pa kayo nakakuha ng Fate Core heroes, you can also get or use the legendary ones. And Kirina is one of the recommended here kasi sobrang siyang malakas. Next is Metron from Mystery's Republic. His passive is double-sided. Purchase 1 buff from the attacker when receiving basic attack damage, 1 time per round only. His first skill is Dragon's Protection. Increases attack speed of all allies by 15 for 8 turns, and also increases effect hit of all allies by 17, also for 8 turns. His second skill, Clinch of the Absolute, deals 25% damage to one enemy and 90% chance to afflict target with Nullify buff. So, he's like a buffer and also a debuffer at the same time. So if only meron siyang FC or Fate Core, I think he's pretty useful.
Now that's the power of science.
Next hero is Bera from Lenompe. His passive is Result of Research. Decreases damage received on self by 10% at the start of the battle. His first skill is Maximum Power Release. Deals 262 damage to one enemy and 70% chance to decrease hit by 40% for 8 turns. Second skill is Emergency Power Release. Deals 178 damage to all enemies. This is AoE. 60% chance to afflict target with bleed. Deal to 62% damage every turn. Actually, I noticed something. Before the Season 5 update, his skills were not that good. Pero now, I see meron pala siyang bleed. He also has ACC bleed. And he also works as a debuffer. So, I really think na the way the developers rebalance every hero in the game after the Season 5 update, it's like they were given the chance. I mean, these other heroes, mga legendary heroes and below, except for those soldiers na good for dispatching, I think the developers really meant na yung rebalancing ng mga skills para useful silang lahat. Kasi before, the heroes na in favor were usually the fated ones, yung mga faith cores, tapos nadedehado yung mga legendary and below. So I think tama rin yung purpose ng developers to make a huge rebalance. So next is Zarian. She's from Saint West. Her passive is Bullseye, increases hit of all allies by 15%. First skill is Magic Bullet, increases attack speed of allies by 13% for 7 turns, and also increases the attack of allies by 11% for 7 turns. Her second skill is Magic Bullet Volley, deals 262 damage to one enemy, and 70% chance to decrease hit by 40% for 8 turns. As you can see, para siyang cowgirl. Next, Rises from Brun. Her passive is Breeze, purges 1 buff from the enemy at the start of the round. First skill is Kabal Tornado, deals 150% damage to one enemy and 50% chance to afflict target with poison to deal 92% damage for 2 turns. Her second skill is Wind Claw, deals 375 damage to one enemy and 80% chance to afflict target with sleep for 6 turns. Oh, meron na siyang CC. She looks like an Egyptian harpy. Next is Monica from Northbound Frosty. Her passive is Proof of Ability. Increases own hit by 20% for each living ally for 5 turns at the start of the round. First skill is Magic Spear Charge. Deals 187 damage to one enemy, 60% chance to afflict target with stun for 4 turns. Her second skill is Magic Spear Rush. Deals 375 damage to one enemy and 80% chance to decrease attack speed of the target by 50 for 9 turns. That's Monica. Next Chaos type hero is Bonkus from Wasted Red. His passive is Weakness Sighted. 50% chance to purge 1 buff from target when basic attacking 1 time per round. First skill is Fierce Shooter. Deals 150% damage to one enemy and increases own attack speed by... may something sa ano niya ha. Parang may mga typo error. You can see after the 150%, merong bracket or ano ba tawag dyan? Yes, bracket yata yan. Hindi naman siya parentheses. And also attack speed by... Ano to? It's a code. Secret code ba to? We just found something, guys. His second skill is Iron Cannon Salvo. Deals 89% damage to all enemies and 50% chance to decrease attack of target by 11% for 8 turns. So this is Bonkus. Para siyang rabbit. Oh no. Ang haba ng tail niya. Para siyang rat. Next is Ivan from Lenombe. His passive is Optical Prism Lens. Grants stealth to self for 6 turns if own health is at 50% or lower at the end of the ally's turn. 1 time per round. First skill, Focus Sniping. Deals 262 piercing damage to one enemy And his second skill, Secret Bullet Shot, deals 178 damage to all enemies and a 60% chance to afflict target with bleed to deal 62 damage every turn for 4 turns. This is Ivan. Ivan is the assistant of Duncan or apprentice. Yan yung base sa story. Next is Corgi from Northpoint Frosty. His passive is Betrayal. Increases attack by 40% for 5 turns upon attacking an enemy, 1 time per round. His first skill is Rhapsody of Explosions. Deals 63% damage to all enemies and 45% chance to decrease attack speed by 13 for 7 turns. Ayan, nakakabulol-bulol na ako. So, sobrang daming numbers. Anyway, ayun. So, I hope guys you're enjoying what I do here. Kasi, it's more like I'm showcasing each hero from different types. So, since this is the second part, meron pa tayong third and fourth part for these following days. You'll be able to see the heroes and I could do some showcase ng mga skill animations like what I did yesterday. Para at least meron kayong idea kung ano man yung mga heroes dyan, and it will also help you choose when you watch this video. Parang at least if you're just starting with the game, it will give you some idea so which heroes to look for, and you can see I've mentioned their passive, first skill, and second skill. So I think that would help you a lot. So his second skill is Flaming Wave, deals 375% damage to one enemy and 80% chance to decrease hit by 45% for 9 turns. Next is Bera from Greenland. His passive is Pretend Sound. Yun. Grants stealth to self for 2 turns when an enemy dies. First skill is Acrobatic Shot, deals 150% piercing damage to one enemy. And his second skill is Ravia Bullet, deals 525% damage to one enemy and 90% chance to afflict target with stun for 7 turns. Para siyang cowboy. Next is Yowon. By the way guys, he owns the shop here. So every week, or for Yowon, his shop resets every month pala. Sorry, that's every month. Pero for Yorm, this girl, her shop resets every week. So you better get those important things, the one I mentioned in the previous video, kasi that will really help you increase or build your gears. And also for Yowon, you'll be able to get memory fragments, wherein if you get 50 memory fragments of a certain hero, you'll be able to craft one hero. That will really be helpful, especially when you are trying to complete the signature force. So for that area, you'll be needing multiple copies of the general hero in order for you to unlock the other stat buffs there. So you can go and check out Yowon's store. So Yowon from Brune, his passive is Glory Hog, grants a barrier equal to 15% of own maximum health to self for 7 turns when an ally purges a buff from an enemy. First skill is Beautiful Writing, deals 187 damage to one enemy and 60% chance to afflict target with poison to deal 82% damage every turn for 3 turns. And his second skill, Ultimate Accomplishment, deals 178 damage to all enemies and 60% chance to purge one buff from target upon attacking. So this is one of the heroes I've noticed. Before, he used to have his first and second skill are all with poison. But for now, the second skill was removed. So, wala nang poison yung second skill niya. Pero meron lang purge. used to be like a mini version of Genai na both skills may poison, pero ayun nga, because of the hero balancing, they try to make it balance para hindi naman yung sobrang overpowering na yung isang hero tapos nadedehado na yung mga iba. So that's that's Hyowon. Next we'll go to Nero from Saint West. His passive is Hot Tempered. Increases attack by 20% for 5 turns if there is a buff on self at the start of the round. His first skill is Dancing Sword. Deals 60% chance to all back row enemies and 40% chance to decrease defense of target by 6% for 6 turns. His second skill is Dynamic Sword. Deals 262 damage to one enemy and grants immunity to self for 8 turns. Actually, this character is quite amusing because siya lang ang nag-iisang character nagsasabi ng bad words. But it's bleep. So hindi nyo maririnig talaga exactly what he was saying, pero puro lang beeping sounds. Okay. Next, we go to Vinity. Vinity from Greenland. This is one of the heroes I used before when I started the game, and I really saw potential in this hero. Too bad he doesn't have a Fate Core yet, pero syempre looking forward, he will have one someday. His passive is Shy Confidence. Increases own critical damage by 10% at the start of round, stacks up to 3 times. His first skill is Tumbling Shot. Deals 60% damage to all back row enemies and grants stealth to self for 3 turns. His second skill is Approach Shot. Deals 525% piercing damage to one enemy. Archer. Para siyang fox. Next is Yao. She's from Esteris Republic. Her passive is All or Nothing. Increases own attack by 30% for 5 turns when an enemy dies. Her first skill is 8 trigrams or 3 grams. Let's go for trigrams. Increases heat of all allies by 13% for 8 turns and also increases attack of all allies by 11% for 8 turns. Next is her second skill, Blooming Red Lotus. Deals 375% piercing damage to one enemy. So para siyang Kung Fu Girl, Chinese. Yan. Next is Yorm. Another one-shop owner in the game. So yun ang sinasabi ko kanina-kanina lang na she also has a shop here in the game and you'll be able to purchase items and it resets every week. So it's best Monday pa lang bilhin mo na pakyawin mo na yung tindahan niya. Then just go back again next Monday. She's from Brune. Her passive is Far Away Delivery. Grants a barrier equal to 13% of own attack to self for 10 turns at the end of own turn. Her first skill, Exploding Postcard, deals 150% damage to one enemy and 50% chance to afflict target with bleed to deal 92% damage every turn for 2 turns. Her second skill, Pouring Letters, deals 89% damage to all enemies and 50% chance to decrease attack of target by 11% for 8 turns. She's a male woman with the version ng Telegram. Her animation skills is quite unique. Lumilipad yung mga letters. Ang cute nga eh. So, that's the end of the legendary heroes that can be used in the game. And now let's go to some of the rare heroes. They are, like I said, they are part of the story. That's why they are useful also. And some of the rare heroes already have a Fate Core version. Like Leafy here. She's from Lenombe. Her passive is 35,000 RPM. Increases attack speed by 15% at the start of the battle. First skill is Drill Milky Way. Deals 63% damage to all enemies and 45% chance to decrease attack speed of target by 13 for 7 turns. Her second skill is Ground Breakthrough. Deals 262 damage to one enemy and 70% chance to afflict target with Bind for 5 turns. You'll be seeing her a lot in the story. She's one of the main casts. And meron siyang 2 siblings, si April and sino yung isa? Nika. Her weapon is quite strange. Kala ko noon para siyang anchor, pero para siyang top. Pero yung sabi nga nila, it's a drill. Next is Nirmash from Brune. His passive is Despicable Ambition. Decreases defense of target for 30%, for 8 turns. Grabe no kung 30 turns yun. When attacking an enemy with debuff. First skill is Dark Iron Archery. Deals 187 damage to one enemy and 60% chance to decrease hit of target by 35% for 7 turns. His second skill, Magic Arrow Shots, deals 525% damage to one enemy and 90% chance to afflict target with silence for 7 turns. He looks like a captain of an airship perhaps. Ah yes, puro naman airship dito, wala naman captain ng barko. Tama ba? Next is Wilkies. She's from Esteris Republic. Her passive is Religious Mission, increases own attack speed by 25 for 8 turns when an enemy dies. Her first skill is Demon's Realm, increases effect hit of all allies by 15% for 7 turns. And her second skill is Dark Planet Collapse, deals 51% damage to all enemies and 40% chance to decrease hit of target by 10% for 5 turns. So, she's like a voodoo priestess. And also, she has a Fate Core. Next is Aiden from Greenland. His passive is Winning Streak. Increases on attack by 20% for 10 turns upon landing a critical hit. So, ayan, tinatake note natin. So, when it comes to this, what I usually do is increase the hero's critical hit more. His first skill, Wild Sniping, deals 375% damage to one enemy and 80% chance to decrease attack speed of target by 50 for 9 turns. And his second skill is Arrow Shower, deals 51% damage to all enemies and increases own critical hit rate by 40 for 5 turns. Oh, I also noticed something. Parang nawala na yung poison niya. Because before, he has a poison attack. Okay, next, si Carlos.
A beautiful victory for a beautiful being.
She's also one of the characters there in the game. Pero sa mga first few parts lang. He's from St. West. And his passive is Jealousy, Provocation. Again, may something dito. Lahat naka-purple ang font. Afflicts burn to one enemy with the lowest current health to deal 50% damage every turn for 1 turn. When a buff is granted to an enemy 1 time per round. First skill is Flaming Red Rose, deals 51% damage to all enemies and 40% chance to afflict enemy with the highest attack with Nullify buff for 2 turns. Next is Passionate Rose. His second skill deals 178% damage to all enemies and 60% chance to afflict target with Burn to deal with 62% damage every turn for 4 turns. So, that's Carlos. Para siyang sophisticated person dyan. Rich kid. Next is Heckin. From Wasted Red, his passive is Remnant Mop Up. Deals 25% damage to all enemies when an enemy dies from own attack. Next is his first skill, Death Sentence. Deals 262% damage to one enemy and 70% chance to afflict target with burn to deal 92% damage every turn for 4 turns. His second skill, Execution, deals 178 piercing damage to all enemies. Oh, all enemies? Ito. At first I thought lahat yung mga skills niya AoE. Hindi pala. That's him. Para siyang the Lone Shard.
So,
Next is Venato from Greenland. Her passive is Hunter's Footsteps, grants stealth to self for 5 turns when an ally dies. Anime. Nagsasabi ko. First skill is Trick Shot, deals 187 damage to one enemy and increases own dodge by 35% for 7 turns. Her second skill is Crescent Magnum, deals 375% piercing damage to one enemy. So that's Venato. Next is Wheeler. Sobrang weird si Wheeler. From Nordvon Frosty. He also has the passive of Mop Up, deals 50% chance damage when attacking an enemy for 30% of health of below. At 30% health of below. Or below siguro to. First skill is Murderer's Joy, increases critical damage of all allies by 11% for 7 turns. And his second skill is Sonic Laser. Deals 51% damage to all enemies and 40% chance to afflict target with bleed to deal with 31% damage every turn for 2 turns. So that's his second skill. Isa siyang skater. Ice Element Skater. And lastly, we have Jin for the rare grade Chaos type hero. He's from Wasted Red. His passive is Weak Hostility, increases own attack by 30% for 5 turns when an enemy uses a barrier. First skill is Tracking, deals 150% damage to one enemy, 50% chance to decrease effect resist of target for 40 turns. For 40%, for 6 turns. And his second skill is Throwing Rocks, deals 127% damage to all enemies and increases attack speed of all allies by 17 for 6 turns. So that's Jean. Meron na rin siyang Fate Core. And on that Fate Core, matured na siya. So that's it for the rare heroes here. And as for this, mga soldiers, take note. Mga soldiers nagsa-start sa rare, grade also, and below. So yan, pupuntang common, magical first, then common, yung mga 1-star. So puro yan mga soldiers na per nation. So this is from Vagabond, this is from Vedas, Wonderland, and so on. Iba-iba. So if you can see or if you can observe, yung mga soldiers natin in the game, usually meron uniform. So you'll be able to distinguish which are the soldiers na rare from the rare heroes because the rare heroes are quite unique. You can see here. Yun. So that's how you can differentiate. Also, I remember from yesterday's discussion regarding this kasi hindi ko nakita dito sa Chaos type heroes na merong ganon. But here, let's go back just for a short while dito sa attack type. Particularly, some of the heroes we've mentioned like Zion. Where is Zion? Yan.
Let's collect some bounty.
Ito. You can see just below yung special attacks with type advantage. I just asked our guildmates about this because I myself didn't know about this type advantage. Sabi nila, when it says type advantage, that means meron daw itong advantage when it comes to elemental. So, Even though the Element Guardian Stones were removed in Exos Heroes after the Season 5 update and were replaced into runes, still elemental function still works. So since si Zion ay isang fire type or fire element hero, so he has an advantage to yung cycle, if you know, yung fire is advantageous against nature, nature is advantageous against ice element, ice is disadvantageous against mechanic, I think. Yun yung yung parang yung cycle, yung ganun. So sinong advantage, sinong disadvantage. So yun yung ibig sabihin nito. Special attacks with type advantage. So that's what it means. And also another hero here, this one.
I won't go down easily. It's my duty.
Special dissipates upon defeating an enemy. I guess dissipate means disappears. So nawawala siya. So upon checking his skill, sabi dito, dissipates upon defeating an enemy. So what dissipates? Maybe yung mga buffs niya. Ito yata increases attacks and increases hit of all allies. Maybe upon executing or doing the second skill, the Emerald Sword, nadidissipate yata ito. Which is, again, you have to activate it again, I guess. After doing second skill, you have to do skill 1 again. Yan yun. And also, another one for Maggie.
This was easy.
I haven't got the chance to ask one of our guild members who provided me the answer. This always attack with an advantage. Pero pinakita niya sa akin kanina. He showed me there is a 15% chance. When it comes to advantages, there is a 15% chance to increase the critical hit rate of this hero, and also meron pa yung dalawa. Pero so from the word itself, meron siyang advantage. Every time she attacks, her critical hit rate is increased. Also the damage is, there is a percentage, which is sayang since I don't know how to edit the videos for yet. These videos I made from the start are all raw. So whenever you hear noises, hindi ko siya natatanggal kasi hindi pa ako nakaka-edit. I'm just using my phone, guys. So please bear with me. So supposed to be, ilalagay ko sana dito yung pinakita sa akin ng guildmate. Yung maliit na chart kung ano yung mga advantage and disadvantage. So yun. Yun lang man nakikita ko so far, and good thing I remembered para hindi naman kayo na left hanging. For you watchers out there and sa mga future watchers pa natin soon, because like I said,
This was expected.
Twitch has this expiry date sa mga videos, and good thing my Twitch account is linked to my YouTube account. So if you want to check my older videos, they are there saved in my YouTube account. You can check it in my profile sa Switch. You can see there the YouTube button. Just press there to go to my YouTube page or YouTube channel. And you can see all the other videos I've made using here in Twitch. Para hindi naman sayang. And hopefully someday, I will be able to edit one by one. And syempre, para maganda naman yung mga thumbnail, ganon. Hopefully someday, I'll be able to do it. So, like I said, also, again, I'm new to this streaming club or group. So, I'm not an expert. As you can see, minsan nabubulol ako, minsan nawawala ako, minsan iniisip ko muna bago saying, kaya may mga pauses. And higit sa lahat, may mga sound effects tayo sa background, like mga vehicles, mga busina. Kasi nagsistream ako tuwing gabi at uwian ng mga office employees. So, yun lang naman so far, guys. Tomorrow, I'll be discussing a different hero type sa ating 4-part video para makompleto natin yung different hero types, yung attack, tapos na kahapon, and I just finished the Chaos one today. Tomorrow, we could be discussing about support type heroes or defense type heroes. So, watch out for it. And if ever you'll be missing out, there will always be a chance to check out the YouTube channel. So please guys, um, if you are watching, you can also subscribe para updated kayo because I'll be making more Exos Heroes content in the future. As in, marami akong iniisip actually. May mga suggestion rin from the guild members which they are so supportive. Kahit alam nila sinasabi ko nahihiya ako because this is also new to me pero still support and thank you guys. Thank you Bears PH for always being there. Nax. So yun lang. So again, this is Bear Gaming and have a nice day.